In a quiet village, there lived an old man everyone knew. People would whisper about him, saying, "He's so lazy. He does nothing all day." And it was true in a way. From morning till evening, he just sat under a wide, ancient tree. Sometimes he'd watch the clouds drift by. Other times he'd watch people walking on the road, lost in thought. He loved to imagine a better future. "One day I'll open a shop," he often said to anyone who would listen. "One day I'll own a herd of cows. One day I'll be rich." But days turned into weeks, and weeks into years, and nothing ever changed. That magical one day never arrived. At first, the villagers just laughed at him. But as time went on, the laughter faded, replaced by a quiet pity. All the while, his wife carried the entire family on her shoulders. She cooked the food, cleaned the house, washed the clothes, and did everything she could to keep hunger away from their door. One evening, she sat down beside him. Her voice was soft, without a hint of anger. "Dreams are beautiful," she said, "but dreams alone can't feed us. We need to work, need an income." The old man simply nodded. Someday I'll find a way," he promised. More years went by, food became scarcer. The little money they had almost disappeared completely. Then came the question that changed everything. One cold night, his small grandson, thin and frail, came close to him. The boy's feet were bare against the cold floor. With a weak, trembling voice, he asked, "Grandpa, is there any bread tonight?" The grandmother went to the cupboard and opened the door. It was completely empty. No rice, no flour, nothing. In that moment, the old man felt something inside his chest just break. Tears welled up in his eyes, blurring the sight of his hungry grandchild. That night, he finally understood a devastating truth. Dreams without action are just empty wishes. He couldn't sleep. His stomach was empty, but his heart felt 100 times heavier. The very next morning, he did something he had never done before in his life. He went out to look for work. He found a job as a farm laborer. It was brutal. The sun burned his skin mercilessly. The soil was dry and hard as rock. He worked long, grueling hours, lifting heavy tools until his muscles screamed. His back ached constantly. His soft hands became rough and calloused. Every single night, he returned home completely exhausted. The food on their table was still meager, but it was honest food earned through his own sweat. And when his grandson would ask, "What did you earn today, Grandpa?" he could manage a small smile and say, "Not much." But it's something. Still, life remained incredibly difficult. The little money he made came and went just as quickly. Problems, however, always stayed. One day, while at a small shop, he overheard some men talking. One of them said, "Saving money is the only real safety a man has." Those words stuck in his mind. He couldn't shake them. That very night, he found an old glass jar and hid it under their bed. From then on, every week, he would drop a few coins inside. Clink, clink. That small sound became his new hope. When his grandson discovered the jar, he asked, "What is this for?" The old man smiled, a real smile this time. "This," he said, "is our tomorrow." Saving was painful. It meant wearing old, patched clothes. It meant eating less food. It meant giving up any small comfort they might have had. But slowly, steadily, the jar began to fill. Months later, feeling proud, he took the jar to the market. He placed it on the counter and asked to buy a sack of corn. The shopkeeper carefully counted the coins, then shook his head. "I'm sorry," he said, "but prices have increased. This money isn't enough anymore." The old man felt defeated all over again. It was like a punch to the gut. All that sacrifice for nothing. That evening, he sat quietly outside his small home, his heart heavy with disappointment. He watched his neighbors walking by, carrying baskets of fresh milk and eggs from their own animals. They looked calm, secure, and then, like a tiny seed planted in his mind, a small idea began to grow. He turned to his grandson. "What if we raised chickens?" This time he didn't just dream about it. He didn't wait for one day. He acted. He took what little money was left from the jar and bought a few small, weak chickens.
Aye.
It wasn't much of a start, but it was a start. Soon, the chickens started laying eggs. First 1 egg, then 2. They ate some, and they sold some. With the small profit they made, they bought more chickens. Slowly, their little chicken coop grew. and just as slowly, their income began to grow with it. The old man, for the first time in his life, started writing everything down. Every egg collected, every coin earned. Soon, his neighbors started buying their eggs directly from him. Hope, real and tangible, finally returned to their small house. One day, the old man was holding a fresh, warm egg in his hand. He looked at his grandson and said, "This egg is stronger than saved money." The boy looked confused. The old man explained, "Money sitting in a jar can lose its value, just like we saw. But when you use that money to create something like our chickens, it grows, it multiplies." His grandson's face lit up with understanding. He hugged his grandfather tightly and laughed. "So, Grandpa, you're not lazy anymore?" The old man smiled, and this time, the tears in his eyes were tears of joy. "Oh, my child, I finally learned." He spent the rest of his life sharing his story, teaching everyone he met one simple but powerful lesson. Saving alone is not enough. You have to make your money work for you. Even the smallest start, with action behind it, can change everything. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more.